Welcome to the Blitz Take, episode number 7. I am here with Doug McCray to talk Commanders football, and I'm excited to see what you have to say about the Commanders. And welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
So my first question is, what were your thoughts on the draft picks the Commanders got?
It's interesting this year for the Commanders. I think last year the idea was to swing for the fences. Guys like Jamin Davis have huge upside, but need a lot of work. I think the draft picks this year, guys like Jahan Dotson and Brian Robinson, these guys have been in systems and played for organizations and colleges where they were already professionals when we got them. So to me, these are more like hitting doubles if we're using a baseball reference.
Mm-hmm. What stood out to you these past few days at training camp?
Well, we just got to the pads. I think the biggest thing is, at least for Commanders, it feels like we've stayed pretty healthy. You know, like these first couple of days of camp, you're always concerned because it feels inevitable that somebody will go down. They've been pretty healthy. This is year 3 in the system from a lot of these guys. So the communication seems to be better. Defense won the first couple of days, and the offense, it looks like, has had the upper hand these last couple. So seems healthy out of camp, I think, is the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm. What kind of thoughts went through your head when Wentz got traded to Washington?
It's interesting because when the Buccaneers signed Tom Brady a couple years ago, I, on my podcast, had said several times, you watch, Matt Ryan will be on the Commanders when he's available in a couple years. I think Carson Wentz probably still has a little bit more upside. I'll say this, as a Commanders fan, and you know this as an Eagles fan, he seemed to get the upper hand of us a bunch. So just from what I've seen, when I watched him play against our team, he always got us. And if he can give us just a little bit of that 2019 magic, we'll see, because I think we've got weapons for him.
Mm-hmm. So my next question is, what are your thoughts on the upcoming season schedule?
Last year was brutal for us. You know, we had the backup quarterback all year in Taylor Heineke, and goodness knows he did the best that he could, but they thought Ryan Fitzpatrick was going to be the quarterback and push the ball down the field. They went out and got another guy that is similar in that way that I think they were hoping will open up the offense some. So I think there's reason to be optimistic, but you know, we'll see. This has not been great years for us as Commanders fans. So I hate to kind of, you know, put the cart before the horses, as you will.
What will you be looking for in their first preseason game against the Carolina Panthers?
I think, again, with all these preseason games, you're just hoping that guys can get in there and get a little bit of work in and knock some rust off and stay healthy, right? I mean, that's the key on these preseason. There's why a lot of coaches and GMs don't want to put their good players out there in preseason, because you don't want them getting hurt for games that just really don't mean anything. So I'm hoping to see some young guys on the Commanders get some work in while also maintaining healthy. I can't imagine too many of the starters will play for either team.
What is your record prediction as of now?
If they can continue to stay healthy, and if Curtis Samuels is healthy, and I'm not sold that he is, but if he is, then I think it's a good division. I think the division is better than people are talking about. I like 9 to 10 wins for the Commanders.
So my last question is, what were your thoughts on waiving Drew White and signing Devontae Barsby?
Well, they are looking for extra linebacker help. There's no doubt about that. They only really have 2 right now. And I'm sure that they would like to add somebody. I think they liked his upside. And again, it's an unfortunate part of the business to get hurt that early. I thought that his quickness, I think, was going to be an asset. So I feel bad for the guys to get hurt this early. Was going to have a hard time making the team anyway, I think, for both of them.
Thanks again for coming on, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Wentz can do with the Commanders this season.
I am too, buddy. I think he's going to have a good year. I know a lot of people are down on him because he's gotten, moved on by a couple different franchises, but I'm not sold that was his fault. So I think we're in for a good year with Carson, and I appreciate you having me on today. This was fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.